When I say I love myself, this is one of the reasons why. I am writing in my journal, and I'm talking about, this is just my notes for myself. Um, I'm a creative using the expression through arts as a profession and a specialty. And then I wrote service and joy. So, I was just thinking about one of the reasons why loving myself has been important. And for me, that was a true feeling and knowing in late 2019 and early 2020, and it's just carried on since. The love of everything I am and everything I've been through, and because I can love myself in this present moment, all my time before has led to this. All my attention and consciousness of things has led to this moment, and that helps me appreciate the moment, because I am one of those, I like learning, and I am one of those types of people who look back. I don't necessarily go back, and I've been like wrestling with that. I don't go back like physically, because my physical incarnation is very important to me. I want to experience love upon love, and sometimes I think the separations that I've had with people in my past, our time was up. Our time was like we weren't in the same frequency and resonance of, we weren't on the same timeline, and we had loved each other to the capacity that we could. And for me, and my sole purpose is without limiting, right? So if we had reached our max, it was time to move on. Not as a, and that's why I love people when I'm with them, because I don't know how long, and we lose people pass away, things happen, right? I honor the time I have with people when I'm with them, because I know how special it is, especially as a physical being. We're talking about, we deal with time, we deal with uncertainty, right? Forgetfulness. It's such a very interesting, unique experience, and I was telling somebody earlier, I don't want to waste my future, which is to say that I have such discernment now. If I'm meeting somebody, okay, and it's also, let me just go back, it's kind of like relationships. When somebody wants to break up with you and they don't break up with you because it's been years, or whatever reason, right? Whatever reason, they're giving it some time. To me, they are a time thief, and it's sort of like a life stealer. It reminds me of Doctor Who and that storyline. Anybody who's seen Doctor Who will know what I'm talking about, so I don't have to mention the characters. But the idea of holding someone's energy hostage. I'm saying, it sounds extreme. I'm saying that I've been in relationships before where I found out later that that years before they had stopped wanting to be with me or trusting me or feeling as close to me, and I'm like, wait, what? That's a long time. And I'm saying like 7 years. That's one of the relationships. One of my relationships, I was the one that stayed too long. I stayed 7 months too long. Because by the time, I don't really talk about my people with other people, but I was in a work setting that kind of lent itself to maybe doing that. I was working at a bookstore at a college campus, and some of the things I said, one of my coworkers reminded me months later, like, you've been talking about this since last semester. It's actually still a problem, which means it's a problem. It's not that I hadn't talked to my girlfriend about it, but I'm always so hopeful in relationships and very patient, and very much when I'm with somebody, I'm thinking that we're growing together and this is just the beginning. And so there's a lot of leeway, or there has been, right? But I stayed in that relationship until it was, I guess, until it was time, right? Um, but in a sense, and I guess it's not the same because I didn't steal her time. She needed to. She was in love with someone, and this person reciprocated their feelings years later. Me and my girlfriend were together at the time, and I always knew that that was a possibility. And I told her at the beginning, you know, I would never stand in the way of true love. There's no way. And so it happened to work out because it's not. We weren't gonna do, because I am polyamorous. We weren't gonna do. We decided that at the beginning of our relationship that our relationship was monogamous, and it wasn't a what is it called? It wasn't me settling. It was just the way I know how it is. I know how my energy is with a certain person. I think I've met the people that I've been with on this physical plane in astral planes or loved them before, and so that I knew that to get to love this person the way that I wanted to, and to know this person and to grow with this person, there couldn't be any reason to cause doubt in them about my sincere feelings. I don't know how to describe it. It's really like I didn't want to cause them pain, and I knew that this is my little Pisces. I knew how much they care for me. I knew how much I care for them, and I didn't want anything to interfere with what we could grow together. And I wasn't thinking, oh, maybe down the line we'll da 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 da. It could happen. Who knew? You know, we don't know. But I'm bringing that up to. I guess I was just trying to compare, like when we stay in relationships too long, we have. Sometimes it's just like we need that time because we don't know, or we're giving it a chance, or we really don't know. But there are some people, seriously, who have not broken up with somebody because their parents or their friends or their family, like, it's like love is so important to me, and especially romantic love and partnership and building together, and I guess traditional like marriage, you know, making a family, making a legacy is so important to me that I just feel like it's in my mind I just said don't waste my time, but don't waste people's time when true love is out there for all of us, if that's what we want. And if you know your partner, I was talking to somebody about this today, one person wants to get married and one person's like, oh, maybe one day, or I'm not sure if I want to get married, I never. Look. So this is my own shit coming out, but I just feel like I know what I want. I know I say what I want in my relationships. I haven't been in too many though. I would say 4 major, maybe 3. One obviously was marriage, and one obviously was the one I was just talking about. Oh, so yeah, definitely 4. Oh. Oh, how did I forget that one? Oh no. That was first love, guys. How would I forget my first love? Ever. Ever. Except that I had to let her go for me to move on with my life so I could be in the present moment with whoever I was going to be with, you know, with my wife, you know. I think I'm always just thinking about my wife and kids. And I know that they're proud of me. That's what it makes me happy to think about them, because one day we'll meet and one day we'll grow, and these videos will be out there, but they won't be necessary because we'll have the love that I'm building right now. I love them. I love them. I love them. You know, people talk about idealization, and I know I'll for sure say in 2019, I got these feelings out of my head and manifested them by writing them in a blog on the World Wide Web. And it's part of my Love Be Like series, and I think it's a series of kind of things that I've learned about love over the years. So I feel like it was kind of a best of in 2019, just wrapping things up, right? And so one of the things, there's a poem that is about, it's to my future children. It's like, it's a dream that I really want, or something that I really want, but it's dependent on someone. And that's the hardest part. That it's dependent, and I feel like I just have to wait. Um, I'm making my art. I'm doing my things. I'm in my own zone. You know. So I guess I can share this. I am not a victim, though I was in that role. I am a lover, deeply in the order of passionate devotion. And then I wrote it a different way. I'm working on symbols, and I'm working on a language, my Insipidity language, my love and light language. And Insipidity is a work that I heard from Nidia Okorafor. She's a great writer. Okay. I guess I can just show this too. Whenever I'm speaking, or whenever anybody sees me, or hears me, or reads my words, always assume, this is assumption that you can make, that God is first. I love God more than anybody and anything, period. Because God created us all. That means that I love all of us, right? Right. So even when I get all like, the love of God is a pure love. And if I'm with that love and I'm devoted to that love, I'm good. Because sometimes loving myself and loving the world from my perspective in my head, and trying to meet the world where it's at, and I'm saying human beings, so I'm saying the world, but I mean human beings. The world is a little easier to meet, actually, especially energetically wise. It's been difficult to be as loving as I was before 2020. I really was so in love with everyone. And when I added myself to that love, I literally added myself to all the love that I feel like I've been given and sharing and spreading all my life, because that's what I was doing, even if I had to do it in secret, because people didn't believe, like, too good to be true, unicorn kind of thing, like insincere, which is a weird thing, such a weird thing when they knew. It's just that I think that sometimes you meet people where you'll never meet anybody like them. They're that singular and that unique. And I think that I've come across people like that. And they've come across me. And sometimes we fumbled. And so as I got older, or as I've gotten older, especially, I want to say 30 plus, after I transitioned, I just don't take my relationships for granted. I really don't. And I don't overcommit, and I'm very honest about what I can give and what I want and what I would like to do. And right now I want to play. I've been asking people to paint with me for over maybe 3 years, and only one kid has painted with me. But I want to play. I want to go to arcades. I want to do miniature golf. I want to hang glide. I want to do water sports, like be on a boat, go on a yacht, learn to sail, surf. There's a bunch of stuff that I want to do, and I want to play, and I want to be physical. And so to go back to the beginning of why I picked this up, when I was saying, like, loving myself, being of service, profession and specialty, being one of them being a healer, one of them being a teacher, and teacher always encompasses student. When I say teacher, I'm gonna have to write that up there. I mean student too. They're both in the same word. Communicator, artist, creative thinker, I have confidence that I'll never run out of ideas. I'm that abundant. That's the truth. That's why when I say I feel rich, I feel rich. I will always be creative because that's what I am. I'm a creator, a born creator, which brings me to this. Second, assume if I'm listing adjectives or describing who I am, know that creator is first known. Is always is not implied but known first. So if I say, even if I say I'm Osananda or I'm Evan or I'm a Taurus, um, God first and creator. I know who I am, right? So, and also I'm just telling stories and I'm just trying to figure things out and relax and be patient for what my next moves are going to be. Like I can't be rushing around, it just doesn't feel right. So it's like I gotta sit here and just be and be okay with that. And so being of service in a world where some of us love being of service and then we're treated not that great or talked about like we're a doormat or you should be more that giving. The only thing I can say is that maybe, not maybe, we should receive more. But how do you receive more? How do you get people around you to give you when it doesn't matter? If it's not that it doesn't matter, but it just feels good to give and to serve. Like it doesn't mean it doesn't. I was gonna say it doesn't need reciprocation, but obviously now in my life it does, and so that's something that I'm accepting. So this is a part of the self-love. That's what I've been trying to say, is that accepting that I love being of service. That makes me happy. I like choosing how to be of service. I can see what what needs attention and what my talents and gifts can bring to that situation. And right now, I used to be a problem solver. It's not like I can't solve problems. It seems like I have a hard time solving my problems. That might not be problems, and that's why they don't need to be solved. But I want to just create from goodness. I don't want to create from conflict and misunderstandings and jealousy and envy and gotta keep explaining. Nah, dude, I'm ready to. Well, I have been, but I'm ready to collaborate with people. Hopefully, shit, man, who want to just create in love. Like it's really that simple. I just want to meet people in the love that I am, and the creative energy that I am, the gift that I am, what I've cultivated within myself, with God, what God has made me, what God always knew I would be, and how it's just beginning from this perspective because I'm just getting to know myself from this perspective. And so, yeah, self-acceptance to me is a form of self-love, and just adding myself to the love that I have for the world and have for the world. It made me angry on my behalf, and it made me feel hurt, and I would have broken, but I've been broken so many times. I can't break like that, like I always can put myself back together. I'm a regenerate. Like I've been in spiritual attacks and spiritual warfare, and certain civilizations are. I'm thinking back to Egypt, or Africa, actually, the continent where babies die, and they'll come back as the same. There are babies who are born in the same family, or in a separate word, kids who pass and keep coming back and passing as kids. That is spiritual attack for me. That's what it meant for me. But what it did was help my soul know that I would come back, for one, and it helped me, or myself, my self-conscious at that time, that I would come back, and it helped me know that I was powerful, because why would anybody be trying to kill me? Why? But it just meant that regeneration and reincarnation was possible. It also meant that I could heal and resurrect myself. I could heal myself if necessary. Like, there's so many different levels. So I just went through like 5 or 6 levels, kind of trying to say the same thing of, through my reincarnations, I've been able to learn to heal, to take on things that weren't necessarily mine, but I'm a curious sort, and I'm a healer, and a lover. And when I say passionately devoted, that's passion and devotion. It's like the divine romance that Osananda was talking about. It's like this. It's bhakti. It's passionate. It's creative energy. That's sacral energy. That's sexual energy. That creative energy. All from and with the spiritual part of existence, and having the spiritual part of existence in this physical body, and having this knowledge and this being able to be a channel. The channel works both ways. It's a privilege and it's a treat, and I want to have fun with it and explore with it with someone else or someone else. I just want to play. And right now I know that I'm alone and isolated by choice, and I need the quiet, I need the time to myself. It's not so much needing to reflect on my past anymore. It's not so much needing to heal. It's just being in the same physical body makes it hard to let go of past people in a certain way, because there's a visible, visual, tangible I don't know how to describe it, but I haven't seen anybody in person since the pandemic, since pre-pandemic. Yeah, 2021 August was the last time I saw somebody I knew in person. Yeah, and so for me, it's a new life, right? Nobody in my past has laid physical eyes on me. Nobody's touched me. In my new life, dude, there's been so many things happening, but the main good thing is that I'm like, you don't know me, I know me, I love me. You know me for 5 days, you know me for 20 minutes, you know me for 2 weeks. You can't tell me anything about what I should do and what I need to do. You can meet me in the love that I am. You can meet me in the person that I am, which I always meet people where they are. So I just want that same self-respect, and I think that I'm gaining it in the sense of just holding my own and verbalizing it. Before I would just think it or know it or write it down, but saying it out loud at this time for some reason is really important. And then I find myself, I don't really have to say it anymore. So that's healing too. That's a self-love thing. That's just being able to accept that I like being of service, and it doesn't make me, I like to choose the way that I'm of service. It doesn't make me lazy. It doesn't make me arrogant. It makes me feel empowered. It makes me feel reminded and feel like I am honoring the free will universe that I am born into and gifted with unconditional love, you know? So I just try to practice that, and I'm practicing it with myself. And it's challenging sometimes. So yeah, I had I had surgery on oral surgery on Thursday. Today's Monday. So it's been not quite 96 hours. It's coming up. But it was this lower left back tooth. It had a big bump on an infection. It's been about 4 or 5 months. And then this upper right tooth, and it's been years. And I didn't know. I didn't know if I was gonna be able to get it done because the last time the doctor, it was 3 weeks ago, and he had a complication from his own surgery, and he had to go to the ER. So when this date came up, I was like, it was August 17th, which is 45 years and 3 months for me because I was born on May 17th. So when it came up, I took the the, the date, but I didn't have any. You have to have somebody to drive you there and to be with you in the office. They can't leave. They have to. So I was getting the IV anesthesia, and it had been very, very stressful the first time trying to find somebody, and just feeling really depressed that I didn't know anybody, that I couldn't call anybody, or I didn't want to. Like, I don't know if I could have, maybe, but I also, anytime I tried or thought, like, my stomach would clench up, so I felt like that was the wrong move. But I just was like, damn, I'm in a position in my life where I don't know anybody that would sit with me for an hour while I get 2 teeth taken out, that I really need to get this done. And then I was also scared of having to recover in a homeless shelter. I didn't know how sick I was going to be, or I didn't know what it was going to be like, right? And so, but the 3 days prior, I was working on breathing exercises. Every time I got upset, I just tried to make myself, not tried to make myself, I prayed that I would settle down immediately, and then I would. So it just worked out. And so when I went in, I was still concerned the day before. I really wanted this. So one of the guys who told me that he would have went with me before, he went with me this time. I asked him the day before because I was taking a chance, right? But I didn't want it to be something, I didn't want to lose it. I didn't want him to, or somebody, I didn't want anybody to be like, oh, I can't do it the day before, and then I have to look for somebody, or 2 days before. I wanted to. So anyways, I took a chance, and he was like, yeah, I got you, right? And so the shelter people called us a lift, and we went there, and it was just a cool procedure. And my healing has gone really well. Today's the 4th day, and it's the day that I've been the most uncomfortable. But yeah, I'm really pleased with the way the healing went. And I'm very grateful for the guy who went with me, because he also, after we got back, it took maybe, it was like 45 minutes at the most. So after we got back to the shelter, he ate, and then he rode my bike to go get me some medication, so I didn't have to have the anesthesia wear off without having medication, because I thought, well, maybe I'll just get it tomorrow. I didn't know what I was gonna do, right? And so he did that, and that was really, really sweet. And I think that helped me heal, to be able to take the medication, go to bed, and sleep. And I've been in all weekend. Sunday afternoon is the first time I went out, and I only went out for like 20 minutes, I think. And then today I'm out, but I'm super, super tired. So I think I'm gonna need to rest the next 2 or 3 days. And I was telling somebody, like, a lot of people don't know that I had surgery unless I say, because some of us who go through hard things do not look like what we've gone through. We don't look like what we've been through. And that's a blessing and a curse in some ways. I won't say a curse, but it's something that I did not like before. But it's like God made me this way so that it's not that I'm cheerful, but so that there's, I don't know. I was going to say something about countenance. But it's also to remind me not to take things so seriously. And it's like others view me. Yeah, it's a face that others view me as, I am confident, but always have my stuff together, which is funny. Because technically, yeah, maybe. But I also I'm like, I still go through my things, but it doesn't show. And I realized this because I was like really sick at some point, and I told my cousin I'm not feeling well, and he looked at me like, and I looked at myself in the mirror, and I looked regular. That's what I'm trying to say. I look regular, my regular happy self. I'm just a regular self, but I didn't look the misery that I felt. And so that's what I'm saying. Like, and that's why I tell people how I feel. If I'm not feeling well, I'll say I'm angry. And because I say I'm angry like that, people don't know that I'm angry, or they think that so it's just like I do express myself quite, I guess, literally. And that's also how I create, and that's how I manifested things. Because I try to use words the way that I know to use them, and or make up meaning for the words that I use. So when I'm using them, they're being used meaningfully, intentionally. It may be the standard meaning that we know in our English dictionary at this time, and a lot of times it's my own meanings. I've added. So, and they all stem from love.